and it's not supposed, actually it is now banking through the CRF.
Can you give us a copy of that legislation?
Chair, I can.
No, I will rule on that. Okay.
No,
Yes,
not
yes.
now. Of course,
Yes.
maybe to some.
I will just rule on that. Answer the other parts of the questions. You were to answer the rest the governor had allowed you, apart from the spending at source.
Okay, Chair, I wish to extend my answer on the part of cash and cash at hand.
Cash at hand, Senator Medu,
Yes.
cash at
Chair,
hand.
the reason is that this cash was collected on the last day of the year, and it was supposed to be banked in the subsequent day, which is 1st of July 2021.
How much was it?
188,641. And the reason is,
when you say it was collected, what are the streams? What is it? Where is it collected from?
Kaguru.
okay,
Yeah, no, I know it's Kaguru, but is it payment of fees or whatever? What is it? What is it?
okay, Chair. This issue of cash at hand is from various streams.
Yes, yes.
One is from hospitals,
Yes.
the FIF.
Yes.
The other one is also from Kaguru. Yeah, two of them.
He's asking about revenue streams.
Okay, no, I got. So in this very last day, from maybe like a hospital like Mutuati, 24,000 was collected that day.
Yes.
Okay.
Proceed to answer the rest of the questions.
Let me ask my colleague to assist me.
It was the legal part. The governor said CCM Legal Affairs is aware that this letter is not the letter of EACC on cautioning at spending at source, and this was on 19 October of 2022, and it was addressed direct to the governor.
I can respond to that, Chair. You remember that that was one of the grounds actually of impeachment. That particular letter and that particular ground on Section 107. It was part of the grounds of impeachment. That motion came before you, the Senate.
No. Chair, can I intervene? Because the legal counsel is misleading.
Correct.
Because even if it was the ground of impeachment, that has actually come out in the audit query.
Yes.
So that argument doesn't hold at all.
Yes.
So don't take that direction, please.
Don't evoke unnecessary.
Chair, without due respect, the financial year that we are referring to here is for 2019-2020.
We are aware, Council.
And the letter that
Governor, can you stop your CCM? He wants us to prove other things which we are not interested. Governor, simple. This letter was written to you on 19 October 2022. Were you aware of these issues raised by EACC?
And just Governor, before you answer, we have only the letter. We don't have evidence to show that even when she came in, she was actually using the same memo.
Yes.
To utilize the budgetary allocation at that level. So that argument does not help at all. Thank you.
Chair, allow me to help my colleagues. The 181 is for hospitals. Hospitals, they offer several services, and they are chargeable. So the amount was collected within the hospitals in the last days of at the closure of the financial year. As at that date, the amount was not banked, but in the first week of July, the amounts were banked. From the annexes that we provided the amount per each hospital facility and the corresponding banking. When we met with the audit team, we agreed we need to provide a bank statement so that they can tick the banking in the bank statement, and we provided in the email. Maybe they've
Or
not
the extra that you are submitting. Yes.
You said your name is who?
My name is Crispus Mutoni.
Crispus.
Which role do you play in county? You are the chief officer
No, I'm financial reporting.
of financial reporting. Senator.
Thank you. The amount of money we are talking here is not the money for the health. That we don't have an issue with, by the way. The issue that we are having is that there was on-source revenue collected and a decision was made for this money to be spent at the local level against the law. So we are asking two questions. Was this done inadvertently because there was evidence before whereby you are allowed to do that, and you have said there was a memo, and you have said that there is actually supposed to be correspondence on the same, and then Chair has raised the issue, and I think Madam Fatma Dulo, Senator Dulo has also asked the same question. The money that you were spending at the local level, were you doing it after you received this memo from ESCC, or were you doing it before? So I don't know whether I'm making sense or I'm wasting time.
Chair, just a rider.
Yes.
The chief officer, I don't know, Mutonyi, for you to even keep revenue for a day,
It's illegal.
it is illegal. So you cannot tell us that when auditors came, we didn't actually deposit the money for a certain number of days. You are already within an illegality. So don't bring those kind of arguments, and don't mislead the governor, because if that is what you are doing, you are the ones who are actually putting her in problems. So don't bring that kind of an argument here. Thank you.
Governor, maybe to conclude that part so that we make a ruling, is Governor, this letter was addressed to you directly. And my question is simple. Have you seen this letter by ESCC, because it was addressed to you directly?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
The letter was addressed to me directly. I don't deny that.
Yes.
But once a letter is directed to me, I always give my legal team that they can also advise on the way forward.
Have you tried to rectify some of the issues, specifically on the issue of spending money at source?
We have Honorable Chair, and we are working on that.
Yes.
And I believe that.
So in the next, can you prove the corrective measures that we are putting in place?
Yes, we will, Honorable Chair.
So let me make the ruling quickly so that we make progress. And we have agreed that cabinet memo is not part of the reason you spend at the source. Section 109 is very clear. One is the legislation of Kaguru that allowed Kaguru to operate as incorporated as a corporation, provide us with the act that has been passed. Number two, show the...
Maybe, Mr. Chairman, I do not intend maybe to overrule.
Yes.
I would want to know whether, because I'm seeing an act that is the Kaguru Agricultural Training Center Act 2019 that has been annexed.
Annexed where?
In
This is a printout.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
It's a printout.
Okay.
So...
Chair, I just wanted to bring a provision to your attention.
Yes.
This is Public Finance Management Act, Section 81, subsection 1, that says, receivers of revenue shall promptly deposit into the county exchequer account and receipt due to the county revenue fund. Number 2, the receivers of revenue shall promptly pay the revenue received into the county revenue as soon as possible, and in any case not later than 5 working days after receipt thereof. So the county treasury shall issue receipt to a receiver of revenue to acknowledge the receipt of the revenue thereof. You have a legal counsel, and I think you should have guided actually the county government and the governor. Thank you.
Yes. And is there a receiver in Meru as per the law? Receiver of revenue, is it appointed? Is he here? CCM?
Chair, it is true we have a receiver of revenue. revenue.
Guru General, I was making ruling.
Maybe Chief Officer.
Yes.
On this particular matter.
Yes.
Did the 7 million that was spent on source then finally appear on your financial statements? Maybe did it appear as own source revenue?
Yes. But as
in the financial
statement. As a
no, use a language that a farmer can understand.
Yes.
I only know that there is own source revenue. Did it appear as own source revenue?
Yes, it did.
In the financial statement?
Yes.
And you're certain about that?
Yes.
Because what I'm looking at shows only the 13 million. The financial statement of the year ending 30th June 2020 only shows the 13 million from Kaguru ATC.
Yes.
So where does it appear?
It appears in our consolidated financial statement.
So it's not own source?
It is own source revenue. However, in accounting, if an institution is allowed to spend at source, we used to give them what we call A&A, authority to incur expenditure at source.
No. Now, I don't have read section 109.
Yes.
Whichever the law is very specific on how we can spend at the source. It is not about accounting, it is about the law.
So ultimately it was not own source because it was spent.
But we are counted as part of own source revenue.
Maybe however much you want to pursue this matter,
yes,
that is the best that you can give us an answer.
Yes. So I've seen, maybe to make the ruling, I've seen the act that has been provided by that on the issue of Kaguru ATC that 2019. The auditor in the next 14 days prove the functionality of this corporation, whether board members have been appointed, their functionality, minutes of meetings, and what have you. And
maybe Chairman, on it, maybe auditor can tell us whether they are auditing, now that it's a separate fund, whether they are auditing the Kaguru ATC. Because then it will appear substantively before the Public Investments Committee.
Have you audited this Kaguru ATC?
Thank you, Chair. We've not audited unless it will start from this financial year.
Okay.
Because then there will be a backlog of 20, it will be 2020, 2021, 2021, 2022, because they say that from 2020 is when the fund was initiated.
Okay, maybe we'll receive.
Maybe you can report progress in the first quarter of the next financial year.
Yes.
Okay, that's so directed. Finally, Governor, give us the corrective measures that you have put in place on the issue, the letter that was written on 19 October 2022 by EACC, especially on spending at source. And on the aspect of failure to protect resources, because it's tied up. Whether that you have said there was an act in place, there were corrective measures. In the next 14 days, provide a proof and cross-check on that. So that the issue of audit number delay in banking of revenue, and we have ruled that spending at source is illegal. And when the committee retreats for report writing, we shall give directions. Governor, also, because the people who spend at source now and then, you should also show us in writing before the committee whether there are any administrative action that has been taken to said officers, unless you have capacity challenges in your departments. But if people who have served, like from 2013, some of the officers, then administrative action should be taken against them. So in the next 14 days, show to the committee the steps that we have taken. Apart from corrective measures, the administrative action as a CEO you have undertaken, so that we don't incur this issue. The next, we move to the next number.
Number 4.
Number 4, unsupported revenue collection from issuance of business permit.
Thank you, Chair. Unsupported revenue collection from issuance of business permits. The statement of receipts and payments, and is disclosed at a note 3 to the financial statements, reflects Kenya shillings 583,884 on that one. In respect to county-owned generated revenue, this includes an amount of Kenya shillings 95,366,737 in respect of revenue from business permit. However, management did not provide for audit verification the business register indicating the business names, registration number, amount paid, and receipt issued. It was therefore not possible to establish the actual businesses that applied for the annual business permits and the respective amount of the revenue received. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of Kenya shillings 95,366,737
Yakaguru ATC Act 2019, that is section 15. In fact, it says all receipts or earning revenues accrual from the center shall be paid to CRF fund. So even your law says it should go to CRF, it does not say you spend at source. Maybe that's for your information, and your officer should be working hard to bring this to your attention. So proceed to read the management response to that query.
Thank you, Chair. During the period under review, the county collected 95,366,737 from single business permits. This amount is collectible from business within the county. To ensure collection of the monies, the county government maintains an updated register of the business in the county, which is available for audit review. See Annex 4A, copy of the business register. Further, the amount of 5,366,734 collected is adequately supported with the details relating to the collections to the source documents like the name of the business, receipt issued, or the permit number issued. See Annex 4B, copy of the supporting schedule for SBP corrected, including both the permit number and the receipt issued. Thank you, Chair.
OAG.
Thank you, Chair. For the register of business, the register of the businesses, it was provided, but we had told them to own, because it again it's
just the schedule.
It's just this quite a big document.
I've seen it,
yes, and then for the 95 million, it's not yet supported
properly.
Yes.
Members, note that one, Governor, members. And maybe as Senator Onyonga will call the record, we have been joined by one of our members. Maybe you can.
Yes, you could introduce yourself, Senator.
Thank you, Chair. This is Senator Mwenda Gasaya, the Rakanidi County member of this committee, and a neighbor to the governor before us.
A neighbor to governor or to Meru County?
I've introduced myself as an institution.
Okay.
A senator.
Okay.
Right. Not an individual.
Senator Onyonga.
Okay, Chair, I wanted to raise the issue about the 95 million, and I'm bringing it right back to you. What is the issue that you've got?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes, on the annex. Yes.
My colleague to respond to it.
Okay, thank you, Chair. The management provided a schedule that doesn't even have the totals. So we have, and they have also not provided a soft copy that we can use to tally to get the 95. So we actually do not know whether it can actually total to the 95.
Okay.
We are also not able to relate the ledger with the register.
Okay. Chair, I'm waiting for you.
Yes.
What OAG is saying is that we are having a variation on the figures on the ledger and the on the registry, and because that register has not been verified, they have no way of.
I'll rule. What I can do, I'll rule on the
yes, because I was going to suggest, sir, that you make a ruling.
Yes, I'll make
which
a ruling
which would either give the county government time for them to review or for them to actually reconcile and convince us.
I'll rule on the register. Maybe you can go on part 2 of your question of 95 million.
Thank you.
Maybe in the financial statements, where is it placed here? I can see notes. Note 3, county-owned generated receipts. Is it in the financial statements? And county government, can you lead us, because these financial statements is yours? Which aspect? So, sorry, as you note that, Auditor General note that and check at note 3, Senator Mwenda Gataya?
Chair, you know, I'm sitting in another function which is with
Yes,
Samburu County, so I just didn't make an appearance.
Yes.
Maybe to resonate with my neighbor county, so I think I beg to leave.
You can still join us when you conclude the other part. Okay, thank you. He's also a member of this committee. It's that the also Samburu County Executive is ongoing. Yes, is it there?
It's note 3.
Note 3. County-owned generated, page
20.
Page 20. Business permits 95,366,737. It's there. Yeah. So proceed. So the issue, yes. So the issue, I will rule on the register.
Yes.
The issue of 95 million, Governor, where are the supporting documents? And as you answer that, in Meru County, do you have a database of businesses that you have? What is the mode of collection? Is it cashless? Do you collect using receipts? And is there any provider of collection of revenue in Meru? So maybe you can answer those questions, then we can give the final round. On the issue of register, don't refer to it because it's not owned, it's not signed, so it's struck out and stood down. In the next 14 days, provide the same register, authenticated and verified. So answer the part 2 on 95 million and the other supplementary questions.
Thank you, Chair. Before I give the Waziri to answer about the 95 million, we've taken major steps. In the next 2 months, we will be cashless. All the operations in Meru, that's a big step that you've taken. Concerning the 95 million, Waziri.
Maybe, Governor, before you, in the next 2 months, you are getting a provider of collection. Who is this provider? Have you finished the tendering process?
We've not yet finished, but we are in the process.
So have you allocated funds to guide the process?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Through this supplementary budget?
Yes.
Okay. How much?
43 million.
43 million. So you are saying every service will be cashless in Meru?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Madam Governor, one of the things we do in our committee is that when we get information, we would like to share it if it makes sense. I would like to make a recommendation, Chair. You are sitting in committee with Makueni, and you remember the governor coming out saying he has, you could most probably benchmark. There's a cashless system that he's using.
And they are paying 0.001%.
They are paying such little to use the system. It's a Safaricom system. Please go and have a look and see whether it makes more sense more than the others, and then you pick out the best option.
I think that advice is...
Thank you, Senator.
Yes. So the other questions that were asked?
Chair, through Governor, to add on what Governor has said, we started in phases. We started with the hospital. As we talk right now up to level 3, we are cashless. And thank you for the recommendation. But you don't have
a service providers at now. She's saying
I'm
the next 2 months.
I'm talking of the hospital side.
Is there a system already for the hospital?
M-Pesa. Yes, we have begun with the registration to the M-Pesa. The Safaricom, we have met severally. We have met twice with Safaricom. We are making progress. We are giving them the data that they require as they wait for us to procure
so that you don't lose
the provider.
Waziri, so that you, let's go systematic. You have a pay bill or for people to pay in hospitals for service?
Yes, as per now.
Okay.
And then we have met...
Which other section is cashless apart from hospital?
Now we are working on the revenue collection. Yeah, the rest. And we have already met with Safaricom with reference from Makueni.
Yes.
And we are providing the data they require. And concurrently, we are also progressing with the procuring of the provider.
Okay.
Yeah. And on the 95, allow me, our Director, Finance Reporting. However, I agree, we met with the external auditors
Yes.
on Monday.
Yes.
And we agreed on owning the 95 million.
Yes.
Yeah. Stamping and on the authentication of the register. And
Yes.
in 14 days.
But you are going back, I have struck off as evidence in this committee. Don't go back, you are reopening my ruling.
Okay.
The Director of Finance reporting.
Thank you, Chair.
And tell us, go just to the straight, why did you not providing supporting documentation to account for 95 million, period?
Thank you, Chair. What we agreed with the auditors, we've provided, but we request for within those 14 days, we look at what because we've provided.
Only there, OAG, what did you agree? That you have agreed on 95 million.
Thank you, Chair. That is not what we agreed. We agreed with them that they support the whole figure of 95 and then relate it to the register.
Okay.
Chair, that's what we agreed, and we sent an email to them.
Again.
But
On this issue.
Yeah, on this issue, but it seems like they've not reviewed the data in our email. So we are requesting within those 14 days, we'll review what we've sent, and the next time we'll not be speaking different.
I rule as follows so that we make progress. One is in the next 14 days, provide us with a copy of that email, because that email looks as a lot of stories to prove that it has been sent. Make sure it is printed, to show printout of sending of those email and authenticated in the next 14 days. Governor, on the issue of hospital pay bill, in the next 14 days, provide the functionality of this hospital pay bill and to prove that the money is not spent and sourced by providing the Safaricom pay bill and the corrective, the pay bill and the bank accounts that are there, and the corrective measures that you have put in place to ensure that Meru goes to cashless and prevent leakages. Because you and me, you might not be there. Some of your officers can do duplicated receipts, so that at the end of the day you are under collecting. And maybe, we want to run away from this. I'm not inferring to the jacket you have worn, but this yellow, revenue officers are prone to wearing yellow jackets and what have you. So we want to eliminate that and ensure that the issue of revenue is, because at the end of the day, the improvement of own source revenue. Governor, maybe just a simple question. What is your projection so far, latest, of collection of own source revenue? Just give us a projection or an approximation so that we can see if there is progress in terms of improving on collection. What are you projecting in the next financial year or even this quarter that you have been in office that you have collected? And maybe since your technical team is here and Director of Finance, in comparison with the last quarter of last year and now this year, whether there is improvement in terms of collection of own source revenue.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We've improved, and not little improvement, but major improvement,
Yes.
and my waziri can explain to that.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. This financial year, the previous financial year, the collection was 385, and as we talk right now, we're in the the last month, we have so far collected 400 million. However, in our projection in the next financial year, we are projecting 550. Reason being, we have referenced to the past performance, but we are very sure we are going to surpass the 550. Also, by fact that we know we are going to start because of the new system, and from the reference from other counties and previously, anytime that you have a new provider, there is a slowness in implementation. So that's why we could not go to our ambition. But we are ambitious, we'll hit 800, and subsequently to the coming years, we'll get to our revenue potential.
So your projection for 2023-2024 is 550 million?
Yes.
In all source revenue?
Yeah.
In this financial year that is coming to an end, what was the projection?
The projection was 600.
Yes.
And when we came, there was the first quarter, there was under collection of 40 million, and that is the before we got into
office.
Into the office. However, we have worked very hard because we have improved our enforcement muscles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you hired extra revenue officers, enforcement aspects?
No, we have worked on enforcement and
Yes.
being and on the people who are already there.
What do? You get out of your office, go to shops, look at the permits, how do you implement that enforcement aspect?
Surprise, we have a monitoring team.
Yes.
And we have given them the mandate to do surprise visits.
You as the CCM, you don't go out and check?
Their days have gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the issue of yes.
Madam Minister, you confused me a bit. You've created three figures. You created 300, you said 300, you said 500, and you said 800.
Okay.
Is that progressive wise, or this is your expectation?
Progressive. The previous financial year, the collection was 385. This financial year, we have pruned up our socks irrespective of the challenges, and as at now, we have hit 400 million. We have projected 550 for the next coming financial year, which is 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that's clear. Let's move number 5.0 on scholarships and education. That one will go to CPIC. That will go to County Public Investment Committee. We move to number 6, where the issue of VCD and provision of auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Number 6, unsupported acquisition of...
Sorry, I hope the Governor, you have taken the rulings that I've made on bank accounts, pay bill numbers that are there, the amount that is there, and the aspect of corrective mechanisms in improving the own source revenue, because that's where the future is. You cannot always wait for national government through equitable shareable revenue. And my direction is that don't spend money at source. And at least today you have had it. Don't allow the technical team to lead you, because if you spend the money at source, there will always be leakages. So
the statement of receipts and payments, and as disclosed at note 9 to the financial statements, reflects Kenya shillings 387,423, 795 in respect of milk for early childhood and development education ECD children. However, supporting documents including delivery notes and list of recipient schools were not viewed for audit review. In the circumstances, the accuracy, completeness, and validity of the expenditure of the Kenya shillings 50,693 and commodity.
Thank you, Chair. During the period under review, the county spent 50,693,622 on purchase of milk for ECD pupils. Records supporting quantity supplied to each school, along with how the milk was distributed in each school, are available for audit review. See Annex 6, documents supporting ECD milk supplied.
Auditor.
Thank you, Chair.
As we look for the next chest.
The query is supported. We carried some, it's quite bulky, but we carried sample.
But is this Annex 6? It shows about dates, quantity in pieces, quantity in liters, amount. So where did it go? Which schools are these? If you look at Annex 6.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
The Annex 6, we have a few. Okay, we received all the
but this one, I'm talking about this one.
Yes, that is.
So where did it go? Because now it says, my issue is not, is this part of the annex of the another document?
No, maybe Chairman, so
Yes.
that we are able to understand.
Yes.
From what I have seen, the Auditor General was looking for delivery notes.
Yes.
And a list of recipient schools.
Yes.
And I'm not seeing that in the annex.
In the annex. And this document shows only dates, quantity, quantity, liters, amount, to where?
Thank you, Chair. The documents that were provided to us had all the annexures, and we have carried a view of those examples.
But can you look at this?
So what you're saying is that the documents were provided to you, but they have not been provided to us.
I think so. Because
Yes.
if you look at, for example, this,
Yes.
that is supporting
Kiego primary units, Kamadi, quantity delivered 94, delivery not 4 weeks.
supporting the first.
Oh, the first receipt. But what we are having here is not there. It's they have just given us quantity in pieces.
Maybe so that we don't tire the auditor. I would want to know were the documents provided?
Thank you, Chair. The documents were provided and they are very bulky. So we provided a lead schedule that is supported there, which has from number 1 to number 270 of the documentation. And because it was bulky, we agreed we print a sample from number 1 to number 10, the way it is arranged over there. And we have copies here.
So do you want to table them now, or you tabled already?
We've already provided to the auditors and ticked from number 1 to 270.
No. Just go slowly. We are now past the auditor. You're now not providing to the. I'm now asking, have you provided them to the committee?
They are part of our annexes today.
They are part of the annexes that have been provided.
Yes.
Before us.
Yes, sir.
So where are they? Refer them to us.
Yes.
No, that's a strange document. It's not part of us.
Not the document that you are bringing. The document that I have. Because the document that I have, the one that the governor has read, is Annex 6.
Maybe Senator Baite to take him to Annex 6. Do you have Annex 6 like this?
The document that the governor has referred to. Do you have
referred?
Yes, sir. The annex that is here, number 6.
Yes.
I'm just maybe I may not be very good with the technicalities of parliament,
Yes.
but I'm saying this annex 6 is a lead schedule.
No. You are either misleading yourself or you want to mislead us. It's nothing to do with parliament.
Yes.
It's something that is, and I've always told clients, the easiest person to get away with is myself. I'm a farmer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an accountant. I'm not just a farmer. So the farmer that I am, the document that the governor has referred is Annex 6. Does Annex 6 have delivery notes?
Allow me, Chair, allow me to help.
There's no problem. You can help each other from one corner to the other. So now who wants to speak? All of you want to speak at the same time. Maybe you can agree.
Yes.
Okay, because they were in the office then.
Okay, sorry, I'm just sorry for that. What there is, Chair, this Annex 6,
Yes.
it is referring to quantities.
Yes.
Quantities, they are supported by invoices, the delivery notes and invoices.
Very good.
Of which now these deliveries and whatever, they are
Where is the sample of those deliveries? We want to make progress. We are plenary at 2:30, my friend.
They are the ones you're saying.
No, don't refer to a document that is not submitted to the committee.
Yes. Are they before us?
That document you are holding, is it before us?
Was it part of the documents that were received by the clerk?
My colleague can answer that.
Is it among these documents that are here?
We need to make progress, please.
Okay, for us to make progress,
Yes.
when we met with the external auditors,
Yes.
we didn't have them, and we agreed we sample 10 of them. At least we bring the first 10, which
But
we came
is
with
it
them, so I'm sure
CCM?
they are not with you.
Says CM, is it part of the documents that were brought to the Senate?
Because you already provided
Yes
them
or
to the
no?
auditor. The auditor has confirmed that you provided them to the auditor.
I agree you may not be having.
So they are not before us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. So why is it very difficult for you? I wonder why, when it is not here, it is not here. Whether you speak for 2 hours, whether all of you want to speak, it is not here.
They should be truthful men and women.
Yes.
Governor, you can see where the problem is. I hope you are not. I'll give direction later.
Thank you, Chair, but we are all in the process of learning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is why we want them to learn to say the truth.
Correct.
In
It's
fact,
part of learning.
Yeah, it's part of learning. I'm very
Now,
happy with all
because
that's happening.
Governor,
Speak the truth.
Senator Baite was asking a simple question. Even if you did not go to school, if they tell you are supplying milk to ECD, I would have expected to say ECD, KICC, this is the class, this is the amount, this is the receiving person. A simple schedule would have been sufficed. So those documents you are bringing before us is not there. Before I rule, Senator Medo.
Yeah, because you see, Your Excellency Governor, where I find inefficiency and people not being very effective. The documents are there. The answers to the questions are there. They have them. They don't want to give us. So how do we get to know the answers of the questions that we are having? It is. I said that when we started. Now you did very well. You provided them to the auditor, but the people who have called you today, you have not provided. You have them there. They are not useful. You have them. You have used money to print them, but they are not useful because you cannot give them to me now. So be effective. Be effective, so that when the ball is thrown to your court by the governor, you even get an opportunity of shining. You can get other advantages some other time.
But that's not on record, Senator.
It's not on record.
Yes. Let's move progress. Let me rule as follows. One is that the sample of this supply to ECD of 50 million of the ECD, the number of boxes and other liters that was supplied, those documentation that you have directed in the next 14 days, should be supplied for verification and sampling by the auditor and onward to the committee for report writing. And you have violated section 62 in non-provision of documentation. It is an illegality under the Public Audit Act to withhold information and documentation. So, Governor, note that one, that some of the individuals must face the full force of administrative action. And if that action, including warning, reprimand, the action must be provided to and with the committee on the progress in the first quarter of the next financial year. So ruled. Let's proceed to number, yes, OAG? 7, yes.
Inaccuracies in the summary of fixed assets register. Annex 5 to the financial statements reflects Kenya shillings 7,111,286,186 in respect to summary of fixed assets. However, the fixed assets register availed for audit review reflected a balance of Kenya shillings 5,738,391,806, resulting to an unreconciled and unexplained variance of Kenya shillings 1,372,894,380. In the circumstances, the accuracy and validity of Kenya shillings 7,111,286,186 in respect to fixed assets as at 30th June 2020 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
Governor.
Thank you, Chair. During the year and review the discrepancies in the figures between the two schedules was due to the fact that summary of the fixed assets in the financial statement included cumulative amounts reported under accusation of assets in the note 10 of the financial statement, which includes both the county and community assets, while the fixed asset register solely represents the assets.
Auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the variances are still there. They have not been. They have been reconciled, but we still. We think we need your guidance.
Yes.
Because of the so-called community assets. Ideally, all the assets should be included.
What do you mean community assets? Like, for example, when you met them, did you ask this question? What are community assets?
Yes.
They told you what?
One of the community assets is like the construction of the classrooms.
For primary or secondary?
For the primary schools.
Was it a number of them or just one?
A number of them. Yes. So the issue that make us seek your guidance is if we include the classrooms,
yes,
we may want to see the ownership.
Correct.
Of the RAD in which the classrooms are constructed, which are now on the national government assets.
Okay. Senator Onyonga?
Can I want to mention this to the governor. You know that the county governments cannot construct national government classrooms. This is what was done from you, from what the OAG is saying. That is what happened. Yeah, that's why I wanted that clarification. From your report, are you saying the classes that were built were ECD, or were their classrooms built in a national local primary school, which have nothing to do with ECD?
Yes, they are ECD classrooms,
yes,
but most of them are built within primary schools.
So private. Wanted to know the ownership.
Primary schools.
Yes.
But most ECDs are in primary schools anyway.
They are, but in terms of ownership.
Yes, and that's why we were.
Also, there is an issue about who actually owns them.
Yes.
Correct.
But if the county government has built them, then they should be for the county government.
But what is
or
the
is that
of that piece of land? I think that's what they're asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe to make progress, when you engage them outside ECT classrooms, or are there other classrooms that were constructed, for example, grade 1 or the rest that were constructed, or it's only ECDs in terms of even their narration?
For classrooms, it's only the ECDs.
The ECDs. So the challenge was the issue of ownership. Who?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So when you went to get on the financial statements, they told you these are community projects.
Yes, yeah, that was part of the reason given on why they are.
Yeah, because there is a big variance, 1.1, is it 1.4 and sorry, was it? Is it 1.3 and 7.1?
7.1 and versus 5.7.
Yeah, 5.7. That's a huge variance in terms of assets. Governor, the first question, so that not that one, so that you answer number 2, because I have seen also in the financial statements that you declared. Number 2, do you have a complete fixed asset register in Meru? Number 3, if you have, then the fact that this is not captured, and even in your financial statements, it's not complete. So have you put a number 4, is there evaluation role on what you own? Maybe you can go ahead and answer those as other members will ask in the course of it. Governor?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe I seek Chief Officer to assist me on this.
Thank you, Chair. Indeed, we have an asset register. A complete asset register, although it is in exclusion of the community assets, which are the bridges, roads, the paved cabros, parkings in town. However, the asset register, the value of the asset is historical. Yes.
So no valuation has been done?
We have not done the current
valuation role.
Yes, yes.
When did you last do valuation role in Meru County?
Okay, that one.
But you have been there for some time, or you are not the one?
Yeah, I was there, but you see now, I was not senior as I am.
You were junior.
I was junior then.
What position were you? What position were you then?
I was director, so I was not that influential. Yes. But I remember.
But now you are more powerful and influential in this regime.
Yeah, Ngabana has uplifted me, and I thank her for that.
From bottom to up. Yes. So now the issue is, I saw CCM wanting to explain, Governor, this variance of 1.3 and 5.7, because this is huge. And when you look at your financial statement, similar.
Yeah, thank you. And it happened.
And I've seen issue of heritage ownership in the financial statement. What is this heritage you have in Meru? Is it Jurijeke or what do you have there?
Thank you, Chair. And those are the ones we are referring as a community project. It's true, we have reported 7 billion, but the ones that we have certificate and ownership documents,
yes.
It's only 5.7 billion.
So you agree with me that you don't have complete asset register?
Because we cannot include the project, the community project of 1.3 billion
so you
in
agree,
our asset.
You know, CCM, I want to assist you, Governor. You agree with me, you don't have complete asset register?
And it cannot be complete.
It cannot be complete because you are saying
Because of the reason that you are giving.
You are giving.
Yes. Chair, what we are saying, we have a complete assets register.
Yes.
But we have, let's say, two of them. We have what we say
No.
we own.
Stop it there. Stop.
And historical, because we provide a reconciliation.
Order.
And maybe
Order.
Chairman, the two gentlemen, the one in red and the other one, they have not given any helpful submission this afternoon. And the less they say, the better it is for this session.
Yes.
Because what you are saying is actually the true position. It's actually the correct position.
Yes.
So you want to contradict a correct position. We have already built a concurrence around that issue.
Yes.
And just leave it at that so that we are able to move forward.
And then allow me kindly to
the two gentlemen, please. Don't make
Maybe one of them is taking advantage that the chairman is the classmate.
No, they are not. The other one who is not speaking is on the red tie.
The one that is in the red tie, the one time that he spoke, he misled us. So, and you stopped him midway.
I never misled. I just quoted the law.
Yes,
I never misled this.
No, we'll check it's okay. Wakil, just rest it there.
Thank
so
you,
that
Chair,
make
for protecting
progress.
me.
The two gentlemen. Now, I think the CCM, you are a bit helpful. Can you proceed?
Okay. Allow me to say that after I got this query, I have consulted, like you advised.
Yes.
We need to do benchmarking.
Yes.
And I've realized that other counties, what they do, they report what they solely own.
Correct.
And
have you consulted also IGTRC, Intergovernmental and Technical Relations Committee, for capacity also?
I've not, and from this.
But we agree with you. Let me make the ruling so that we make progress. One is that you need to provide this committee on the progress of governor putting in place a complete asset register for Meru, so that when somebody works, he knows what Meru owns, and provide that in 14 days to the auditor. Number 3, give in the first quarter of the next financial year, give us the progress report on ensuring that all assets under Meru County government are captured. Number 4 is provide the value in the next quarter of the next financial year, provide the valuation roll of all the assets that are being owned by Meru County government or county executive. And the final one is give us a narration on these differences of the 5.7 billion and 1.3 billion, and ensure when you do asset register, the tagging, the naming and what have you, I think your people in finance understand that aspect. So a few, Governor, maybe before I make a ruling, in this, I know maybe you, there was when you took office, a supplementary budget was processed by the county assembly. Was it there? Did you allocate any funds to complete the aspect of completing asset register? Because I know you'll need funds to put in place a complete asset register. Was there any funding to it?
Thank you, Chair. I don't think there was any funding to that.
Yes.
Number 2, Chair, I humbly request that if you can add us some days for all these things, because they are too much for us. You add us some days. Because now
but I've said the first quarter.
14 days.
No, the 14 days. On the other aspects, I'm not. That's why on the issue of completing asset register, I've given you up to the first quarter of the next financial year. Because I know it's a process where you'll go and identify, do the tagging, do the numbering. I've given you to the first quarter of the next financial year. Senator,
maybe Chairman, because I have not had another governor ask for an extension of time.
Yes.
Maybe you could allow her 21 days if it works for her.
Yes.
Which one? On which aspect?
Maybe the ones that are coming, because I know there are some others that will be coming that will require 14 days.
Why are you a prophet of doom? Maybe the other questions are resolved.
Chair, I don't know whether my brother knows that he is actually preempting
the rulings of the chair,
and rulings,
which is unfair. So what the governor have done on the issue of completing the asset register, because I know you might put in the budget, that's why I've given you to the first quarter of the next financial year. which is and the next from now June to around maybe November towards the end of the year, which is sufficient. Unless at that point, if you not have complete the issue of asset, you can still write to this committee to request for extension of time, which is still around. So I'm just being fair and sensitive to the aspects that the rulings I make.
And maybe because even most of the issues that are to be provided in 14 days are issues that are even here with us today. You know, some documents are just with us. It's just for neatness.
Yes.
Because, for example, one document the auditor has looked at it. It is we who have not been able to look at it. So it's something that can even be provided in.
It should stand.
In fact, 14 days is.
I agree with you on the ruling of 14 days. The aspect we give 14 days, Governor, is so that by the time you give the auditor and then auditor verify and then it transmit to that. Because in any instances, the document you had, you can even submit to the auditor by tomorrow in the office, and they that verification. If they finish within 5 days, they transmit to the Senate and we go for report writing. That is the essence of 14 days, as Senator said, for neatness of the process before we go for report writing. So let's move, let's make progress.
Through the Governor, kindly allow me to request for more time on evaluation, because I've not provided this in the
But I've provided in the first quarter of the next financial year. Even the auditors have written.
It's not in the budget, which you know the budget is already in the progress. However, in the supplementary...
But those are issues you can discuss in cabinet and update the committee on the progress. But I'm giving you to the first quarter of the next financial year. I don't want, you don't want to ride on an advantage of Senator Methu, having been in it.
At least it's fair to us if you could give us up to the second quarter.
No, let's first quarter and then report progress.
Let me help you. If there is anything that, and the chairman has even given you a leakage, if there is anything that is not done by the first quarter, you can always write to this committee.
Yes.
I think it is fair that way.
It is fair that way.
Yes.
Don't unnecessarily ride on what Senator Methu is giving you, is extending a blank check. Let's move to 8.0, other payments, payables from previous financial period.
Thank you, Chair. Other payments, payables from previous financial period. The statement of receipts and payment are disclosed at a note 10 to the financial statements reflects other payments amount of Kenya shillings 1,476,552,008. This includes Kenya shillings 1,882,404 in respect of payables from previous financial periods. Included in the payables from the previous financial periods is Kenya shillings 25,487 transferred to 7 tea factories in the county.
7 or 70?
7. Tea factories in the county, being the distribution of 10% at Varolem levy for tea industry infrastructure development by Agriculture and Food Authority (AFA) to tea factories through the county government. However, the management did not provide evidence on how the funds were utilized and accounted for. Further, management did not provide records on how the routes for maintenance were identified. In the circumstances, the accuracy and value for money for Kenya shillings 25,487,507 is at 30th June 2020, could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
The Governor, take us to the page and where your response is.
Thank you, Chair. During the period under review, the county transferred 25,487,507 transferred to 7 tea factories in the county, being the distribution of 10% AD Verum levy for the tea industry infrastructure development to counties by the AFA. AD Verum levy relates to a percentum of the value of all made tea imposed by the minister at the point of export or import in accordance with Section 18 of the Tea Act. The funds were to be utilized as per the Section 18(3)(c) of the Tea Cap 343, which states that 10% shall be used for the development of infrastructure for the tea industry. As per the guidance issued, the role of the county was to ensure formation of committees at the factory levels and later disburse the funds. The funds were used to maintenance of the rooms within the tea factories, but the identification of rooms was not the mandate of the county. See Annex 8, details of rooms maintained and the amount spent. Thank you.
I thought you have finished reading your
you have said upon disbursement, I think received by AFA. Have you read through up to how the funds were utilized rests with KTDA? The last paragraph.
The funds were used to maintain. The funds were used on maintenance of the roads within the tea factories, but the identification of roads was not the mandate of the county. See Annex 8, details of the roads maintained and the amount spent.
But in your statement, I have it talks about C Annex A, correspondence detailing, C Annex 8B, details of the road maintained by individual factory. Further, the factories of the C Annex 8C, because there are 3 annexes, 8A, 8B, and 8C. And in fact, you have said in your last part, since the tea factories are managed by KTDA, which is a parastatal body under the Ministry of Environment, the ultimate duty to account for funds were utilized rests with the KTDA. Or I have the wrong response. Is it the same, Governor, that we're having and we're having? Is it the same?
Wakili.
Page 22, isn't it?
Page 23, page 8 of 22. Is Governor having the wrong document or us?
I think there's an omission, Chair.
Yes.
There's a paragraph which is missing in governance. Yes. And I wish to give her the right one. Thanks, omission.
Why you guys want to mislead the governor? Can you provide him with the right? So are we having the right document or the governor is having the wrong document?
You have the right.
Yes.
I think there is a version which had missed one paragraph.
Who was doing this work, Governor? Who was doing the compiling, the what documentation? Is it the same Director of Finance or Director of Finance Reporting? Who was the one supervising?
The supervisor.
CCM Finance. Who was doing it, Governor?
I'm the one, Chair. Chair, I'm the one.
Yes.
But I admit that's an omission. One paragraph is missing.
No, that's a serious issue. You know, you are misleading the committee. Now, rest it there. Rest it there. We'll handle you at the opportune time. Just switch off your mic. Just switch off. Governor, can you now get the correct document? Can you proceed?
Yes, Chair. During the period under review, the county transferred 25,487,507 transferred to 70 factories in the county, being distribution of 10%.
Maybe, Governor, since you had read the other part, the remaining part, you had reached up to 8C Annex 8A.
Thank you, Chair. Yes. Upon disbursement of the funds, the factories identified the roads and shared a list of all the identified copies. See Annex 8B, detailed of the road maintained by each individual factory. Further, the factory submitted expenditure of returns to the county on utilization of the funds. See Annex 8C, copies of the expenditure return from each tea factory. Since the tea factories are managed by the KTDA, Kenya Tea Development Authority, which is a parastatal body and the Ministry of Agriculture, the ultimate duty to account for how the funds were utilized rests with the KTDA. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, now I think that's correct. So we had the right document, but I think some of your people failed you and gave you the wrong document. Now, quick questions, Senator. Maybe before you come, OAG, what was the issue here? They are saying this accountability should be raised with KTDA and you should audit at the KTDA level.
Yes, and why it's not resolved is that we don't have expenditure returns from AFA or KTDA.
And also this list of roads that she's talking about. Have you seen them? Naona amesema iko.
The cash was given by the county government, isn't it?
No, by the there is KTDA. AFA, so sorry, right, Food Authorities is here. They have 8A, Annex 8A.
So I was asking, Chair, I was asking the OAG, so what are you having a contradiction about with what she has said?
Please just explain.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Ideally, the amount should have been accounted by the county, since the county is the one that passed the money to the tea factories. But in the event that there were other directions, like the guidelines, they are mentioning of the guidelines mentioned here, then they should have been availed.
What was the OAG? What was the role of the of the county, because she's saying identification of roads, spending, it's like they were just alerted by being told there is money from AFA, but 70 factories have identified the roads, and she has provided an explanation in the annexes.
Thank you, Chair. I think the guidelines would have provided that information on how the amounts was to be shared and how it was to be accounted for. Otherwise, as it were, then the county being the person, being the entity disbursing the funds, then they ought to have requested for the expenditure returns on the same.
Can I just a leading question, then you come to Senator Dulo. Then are you suggesting that it would make sense if you gave the county government time for them to go back and do a review and look and see whether they can get these documents? Or is it a lost cause?
Yes, then I give to Senator Dulo. The question they are asking is, when you met them, were they able to provide documentation, or was there challenges or provision of this documentation?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, no, the documents were not provided. So we are not able to know.
And they didn't explain? Did they give you a narration why some of the documentation were not there?
Yes, the explanation given was that the money was not supposed to be accounted by the county.
Okay. Senator Dulo?
I think, Chair, there is a bit of confusion because when we discussed this thing in the morning, the money was channeled through the county government.
Correct.
And apparently the governor is saying identification of the roads were done by KTDA. So I don't really understand the role of county government in this. But number two, if the money was channeled through the county government, they must account for that money. So can you make us understand, because our position then this morning was very clear. The money was channeled through the county government. Even if they didn't identify the roads, I'm sure there must be some agreement and consultation at some stage so that we know who should provide the documents and who should account for the money allocated. I think that has to come out clear, OAG.
And I think as you answer that, I hope, Governor, you are aware KTDA is a private company. It's not it's a private company which was privatized in 1997, and the ministry has been struggling to get it back, but they have gone to court to challenge. So CCM, you should be aware about the accountability mechanisms of a private company. OAG, so that we give Governor opportunity to respond to.
Thank you, Chair. If you look at the financial statements, the amount is accounted as spent. So, yes, but by the tea factories. So it would have been, I think, ideal for the county to provide the expenditure returns from the tea factories to support the 25 million. Thank you.
So I think by the use of the word spent, that means the money was channeled through the county government, isn't it?
Yes. Actually, it's not through the use of the word spent. The letter is very, very clear from AFA. Money was dispersed to the counties on the 31st of July. The money was sent not to the factories. From their next year, 8A, the money was sent.
Whatever is available.
So, yes, because I have seen the sheet in this process, and
the money was sent to the counties on the 31st of July 2016.
Yes.
So it is now the county that now, I imagine now that sent to the, and I substantially think there must have been a role for the county. It was not just a conveyor.
Because I can see also there have been gracious, they have even included other counties to show the money they have received.
Yeah.
So it means money was given to your county to spend from the schedule you provided as the annexures.
No, but there was another. It was tied, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
From the letter that was sent by AFA.
Yes.
There was it was the county and the tea factory that have qualified. It was tied. It was not the county to determine which tea factory was to get. It was direct from the letter.
Yes, Medu, have you finished your question? Okay. Maybe the governor.
Thank you, Chair, and I can see my Waziri is ready to respond on this.
Yes. And you have a lot of faith in your CCM finance. Yes, proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Upon this query, what happened then, and it happened once.
Order, members.
All along, the organization normally sends money to the factory. Yes. But this particular year, they channeled through the county. So the county was just a receiving entity to receive and hand over to the factory. Why that decision was made then, yes. It is up to the AFA. But AFA, yeah. Mm-hmm. But since my chief officer was there then, maybe can give more details. But all I know and why we are disowning is that we were just channeling
a conveyor belt.
Yeah. Okay. That's why now we have it's recorded as expense.
In fact, the decision was not made by AFA. The decision was made by Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee. From the letter that
yes, I've seen it.
Because then there was lobbying. You know, the counties, there was, they wanted to be receiving the money, then channel to the factory. The factories were also engaging to continue receiving direct.
So what is the current status, maybe, so that...
Current status, we are not getting such...
So they send directly to the...
Yeah, they send directly.
It is only this particular year that
it was only this particular year.
Right.
The auditor, is that the case? Maybe you have audited the last few financial years, is still coming up, this issue? In this particular year. CCM, you've worked with any county government entity before you joined county? Where were you?
Before I joined county, I was in KBC.
Kenya Pipeline?
No, Kenya Broadcasting.
Oh, you have ISPAC number? You are an accountant?
Yes.
Okay.
My number is 16326.
Okay. Chief officer, and be precise, the issue of, so that I can get back to Dulo. 1 minute, Chief Officer.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
What happened in this year?
This year, Chair.
Yes.
I wish to attest that I was the director on budget.
Yes.
This money came after even the budget had been passed.
Yes.
It was not even included in the KARA Act.
Yes.
It wasn't there.
Yes.
So actually what happened when we received...
It looks like it was a donation.
No, it was a transfer from AFA, and then subsequently they requested us to transfer to the factories. In fact, you
were conveyor belt.
More of a conduit. Transfer the money to factories.
Okay, let's rest it there, Senator Dulo. In conclusion, so that I make a ruling.
I think a county government cannot run away from this responsibility of accounting how the money was transferred to the farmers. There is no way that the money can hit my account.
Yes.
And I don't explain how I had transferred. There must be evidence from the county government to show that the money moved from county government to the farmers. Yeah? So that bit you need to provide yourselves as county government. Can you give us documents to show that the money hit your account and then whatever purpose it served, we don't know. But to show that you had nothing to do with it, you moved it to the relevant farmers. Give us those evidences.
Because actually the schedule was clear on even the tea factories that you need to send to. So I agree, maybe you are conveyor, but as Senator Dulo says, then there should be evidence that this is exactly what you did. What was required for by the letter is what you did.
And so, again, to clear your also statement, you are saying it is spent.
Yes.
So how do you justify that? Because it will tie you. Yeah.
So let me rule as follows. To make progress is that show the proof that it came to your account. I don't think AFA just called your office and say release money to the factories. There must have been correspondences. So get the documentation on the proof of that money was spent in the number of roads as indicated by the factories. I know those are documentations that you can provide. And in the next 14 days, make sure those documentation are provided. And what was the role of county government? Because you cannot just be a conduit to allow money pass through and you don't even want to know, because those roads are that in tea factories the people of Meru are using and they really want to understand what happened to that money. As I conclude in ruling.
Mr. Chairman, I would want so that your ruling is very, very clear.
Yes.
maybe to refer you to Annex 8C.
Yes.
It shows the tea factories, the various tea factories and how they spend the levy.
Michikimu Tea Factory Company,
Imenti Tea Factory, Kinoro Tea Factory,
Kitongo Tea Factory, Kinoro Tea Factory,
all the way to the last one, Gidongo Tea Factory. Because if you read that, the narration on the top left is spending of the levy.
Yes, the spending of the, it's like spending of 150. So this documentation was provided by the tea factory or yourselves?
Thank you, Chair. These documentations were provided by the tea factory.
Yes.
But what we've not been able to get from the tea factories.
Yes.
Because when we talked about accountability, we wanted them to give us a copy of the payment vouchers. Correct. That they used to pay.
Correct.
And then they were saying, we've been receiving this money all along because it's the 10% from what we provided. We can't give you our payment voucher. But they've given the expenditure returns. So that's why we were saying now, because from our end, we've not been able to get the payment vouchers from the factory. We've only been able to get the expenditure returns. So we were saying maybe from the part of vouchers.
Were you able to get companies or what the factories themselves were doing maintenance of these roads?
It is the companies themselves that were, even they are the ones who contracted the roads. They are the ones who identified the roads and they want to maintain the roads.
So they didn't tell you the number of kilometers that they did in terms of those road maintenance?
They've done that. They've documented that it is part of our Annex 8B. They've shown this road, this. For each factory they've done that. But we've not been able to get the payment vouchers.
The payment voucher has not been provided?
Yes, we've not been able to get it from them.
And they are saying they cannot provide because they get this money every year and they are not asked for these documents every year?
Yes.
But I think...
Maybe then, so that Senator Duro comes in, you need to show it to them that this year is different from all the other years. Because although they have not been providing the schedules, they have also not been receiving the monies from the counties. It is for this particular year that they received money from the county. So that is how this year, in terms of expenditure of this money, is special. Because, Governor, as it is now, your last interaction with this money was when you sent them to the tea factories. It will be a bag over and over until you're able to get them the schedules of how they spend the money, because it is you who deposited the money to them. So you have a very clear case on how you need to tell them that this year was different from these other years that they receive money, and they're not able to account to you because you are never involved.
Yes. So I think Senator Dulo.
Chair, I think this matter is very simple, because according to me, there must be a correspondence to show that
that's what I was ruling
KTDA or AFA was sending money to you for a certain purpose. And there must be acknowledgement also from your end. If you are the ones who did not disburse the money to the farmers, to the level or to the extent that you have given money to the relevant institutions, as far as your accountability is concerned, is up to there. Can you give us documents up to where you have transferred the money to the farmers or to the KTDA on the ground? I think that is clear. Thank you.
And there are those correspondence that we need in terms of payment vouchers and what. Even if they decline to provide, they should give you a correspondence as to why they are declining.
On our part,
yes,
we have from the factories we have acknowledgement that the amount hits the account.
Where is it? Is it here?
It's not here because we are trying to respond to how the roads were identified and part of our accountability. But in terms of them acknowledging that they received the funds, we have that correspondence and we can provide.
Then provide that documentation in the next 14 days and make sure those correspondence are in order. So ordered number 1.0 budget control and performance. This is adopted and read and management resolved. Number 2.0 letter checker releases adopted and read as the response. Let's move now to where the meat is. 3.0 project implementation status. 3.0.
Thank you, Chair. Project implementation status. During the year under review, the approved development budget reflects Kenya shillings 3,325,998,613. The project's implementation status report reviewed for audit review indicated that a total of 874 projects with an approved budget of Kenya shilling 3,251,361,329 were to be implemented during the year. Of the 874 projects, 593 projects with a budget of Kenya shillings 2,594,054, so 054,769 were complete. 262 projects with a budget of 574,409,120 were ongoing, while 19 projects with a budget of Kenya shillings 82,904,440 shillings had not started. In view of the foregoing, the residents did not get the planned services equivalent to the 262 ongoing projects worth Kenya shillings 574,409,120 and 19 projects worth 82,900,440 not started, both totaling 657,309,560. This is an indication of poor project planning and implementation. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, and guide us to the zip number page 10.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Chair.
Yes.
I concur with the audit observation that the closure of financial year under review, 262 projects were ongoing and 19 had not commenced. This was caused by disruption of the key government operation by the COVID-19, which led to suspension of various government operations from the month of March up to the closure of financial year. See Annex 10A, notice for suspension of various operations due to COVID-19. As at the moment, all the above mentioned projects have been completed and the said project have since been completed. See Annex 10B, copies of completion certificate. Thank you, Chair.
Auditor, before I allow members, there's this issue of projects 19, 260, and also give us an upshot up to date as at now, as today in Meru. When we go there, these 262 and 19 projects, whether they are complete.
Thank you, Chair. I'll ask my colleague to answer to that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Chair. Management has not provided evidence that the projects are complete. They have not provided the completion certificates, so we cannot actually vote.
On the 19 or 262?
On the 262.
So there is no evidence, certificates of completion, any others, even pictures?
Or even pictures are not there. But
Okay.
we have...
Maybe auditors, you conclude in answering, have you sampled visits to some of these projects? Have you gotten a chance?
No, at the moment we have not.
Okay.
Since we received the response, we have not been able to verify.
I'll give a ruling on that.
Maybe on the same, when last did you have an interaction with this, either 262 or 19? Maybe after the response, you have not gone there. When last did you ever go to, for...
They have not physically verified.
Yeah, for project verification. Because, you know, this
They have
is...
not done.
This is 2020. Maybe they went in 2021.
Okay, yes.
Status. Maybe they went in 2022. Maybe they went beginning of this year.
Thank you. Yes, there have been several verifications, sample verifications in the subsequent years.
Yes.
Yeah, and we are going to see some of them. We have a few in the,
Yes, I've seen
report, the subsequent paragraphs,
yes,
which have been verified later on.
So 262 projects, Governor, were not completed under that year of review. You have not provided evidence to show whether some of those 262 projects have been completed. And you know, if you provide certificate of occupancy, certificate of completion, as you answer that, all that, Senator Onyonga and Senator Dulu.
Chair, I'm just with you.
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
I'm completely, I'm just going to mention that I wish that OAG would actually verify for us to know which are the projects that have been completed, certificates
I'll
issued.
give a ruling on
yes,
that.
Yes,
yes, Senator Dulu.
Chair, I have an issue with this list of projects.
Yes.
Because we discussed about authenticity of the documents this morning. If you look at this list of the projects, it doesn't show who prepared, who signed, there's no letterhead. Anybody on the street can actually bring this to this committee.
Wakili, wewe ndo unaangusha governor. What can you say about this?
We shall provide certified copies. I concur that the document.
The county attorney, governor, do you have county attorney, county solicitor, county legal advisor? As at now, do you have such?
Yes, we have.
You have?
Yes.
Then they are failing all of you. Now you might make me reconsider of being your classmate in Monvas School of Law. Because
He's point of order. He's spoiling your good name.
no, you are now making me somehow, because you know very well, as a lawyer, if I bring you a document that is not certified.
No, did you guys go to?
No, we were taught by the great people like Professor Ojenda, Professor Muta Kango, and senior barristers in this country. And at least your CCM of Legal Affairs has noted that it is unfair to table a document that is not certified. CCM, are you noting this? And you and me agree, if a document is not signed, is not certified, that document, no one owns it.
It's not a document.
It's not a document. Because in fact, by the way, I asked the OAG to show us 262 projects, are they complete? Is there a certificate of completion? Is there a certificate of occupancy? If we visit Meru today as a County Public Accounts Committee, are we able to see these projects and whether the payments were made?
Thank you, Chair. About the 262 projects, I am to request the Chief Officer Finance to assist me.
Chair, I wish to respond on that. It is true, a number of those projects were complete, except 19 which are in progress.
Were those 19 paid for as at now?
We have said they were ongoing by the time the audit was.
But as at now, you know, we want to see value for the people of Meru.
No, some chair have not been paid. They are part of the pending bills.
At all. Like how many?
Okay.
You have institutional memory. That's why we are relying on you.
Yeah, but on that, Chair.
Yes.
I will rely and give a number, but a number of them,
yes,
they are part of the pending bills. Yeah.
So, you know, so what I can rule, members, since it's a straightforward matter, so that we move in the interest of time, is one, provide a schedule of these 262 projects, and also the payment, and if they are occupied, provide completion certificate, a sample, and a certificate of occupancy and other approvals by Ministry of Works and Public Health. Number two, the outstanding bill, pending bill on the aspect of these 262 projects, and the 19 one. Number three, provide, apart from schedule, even pictures, and therefore OAG, I don't know, because of the, I know budgetary constraints, I don't know whether we can take it to the first quarter of next financial year if you are able to verify, because I'm looking at the budgetary timeline. Is it okay in the first quarter to sample some of these 262 projects and give us a report? In the first quarter of the next financial year, will you be able to have gotten at least something to move around in verification?
Yes, thank you, Chair. That has already been planned for.
So, okay.
In the first quarter.
So, okay. So, noted. So, Governor, we move to 4.0, pending bills, OAG. We are doing very well in terms of time.
Thank you, Chair. Pending bills, the financial statements under note 7.9.1 reflects pending accounts payable amounting to Kenya shillings 1,826,051,130. Into brackets 2019. We had 1,914,117,573 as at 30th June 2020. Management has not explained why bills were not settled during the year when they fall. It was an error. Failure to settle bills during the year in which they relate distorts the financial statements and adversely affects the budgetary provisions for the subsequent year as a first charge. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, so that pending bill is a moving target. What is the pending bill of Meru as at now? As at today? Or it is zero? Or everybody, you don't have pending bills in Meru? As at now, when you took office, I know these were part of handing over notes. What was the pending bill when you took office, and what is the pending bill as at now? And I know your technical team must be having these numbers. Before you answer that, as you get in consultation with your technical team, Senator Medu?
I don't know, Mr. Chairman, whether you can allow me to ask a question that I forgot.
And you are in so many forums, you are here and other forums that I'm following. I can proceed. He's our last born in the Senate.
That's why they keep harassing me.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
We love him.
So I would have wanted to know, just by a way of question, whether there are any of the projects that the governor inherited from the former county government that she has abandoned, because that's a major thorn in the flesh.
And I think to add on you whether he has instigated any audit, because some governors say there are fake pending bills and good pending bills.
That was my next question.
Okay, sorry.
On the pending bills that we have.
Yes.
Do you have pending bills, what do they call it?
A committee or verification
committee or something?
Yes.
So that we are able to know to what extent the pending bills have been paid. Because all of us know that, and even farmers like myself know that pending bills form the first charge of payment.
Yes, that is Article 202 of the Constitution.
Very well.
Governor, you can answer the 5 questions, then we can take you to the next round.
Thank you, Chair. During the period of the review, the county reported pending bills of 1,826,051,130. This amount contains accumulation pending bills incurred by successive governments, which arise as a result of delayed exchequer releases, existence of work in progress at closure of the financial year, failure to meet revenue allocation budget, among other factors. The county strives to clear pending bills and provides budgets for the same. During the period under review, the county paid $1,882,404 in offsetting the previous year's pending bill, and it has continued to provide a budget for the same. And thank you, Chair, for the status of pending bill. By the time we were joining, we had 1.2 billion.
1.2 billion?
Yes. Then we had to put in place a task force to see the payables and the unpayables.
Yes.
And then the 700 were not payable. And then
so you remain with the
were payable, and then so far we've paid 150 and balance 550.
150.
Yes.
So as of today, Meru County government has a pending bill of 550 million.
Yes, and
so out of these 700, you said 700 million were fictitious claims.
Unpayable.
Unpayable. So it was not genuine. The 700 million they could not prove.
We have a report from the task force.
Did you guys say the report, the task force?
Yes.
Have they completed their work?
They have.
Do you have the copy of the report?
We do not bring, but we have a copy.
You can share with the committee?
We can share.
Okay, Senator Medu, before I make a ruling, because I can see the other...
Yeah, because I think this matter, AOG, we need to really agree on it, because in the next audit, 2020-2021, these 700 will appear. 2021-2022, these 700 will appear. The county says that it's not payable. The AOG says that is dead. So I don't know at what point, maybe that is one of the things that we shall deal with. But in my opinion, Governor, you need to put more effort in payment of these pending bills. I'll give you a case on point. Laikipia County government found a pending bill of 501 million. And they have paid 451. They are remaining with only 60 million. So that's a model of a county that is now being seen to be in the right trajectory, because you know that the ripple effect of these pending bills. This is money that is owed to people, young people, women, people from your county. Endeavor to raise it from 150. 150 is not very good, Chief CC. You know that you cannot be. It's not something that you can clap for. Out of a pending bill that was of 1.2 billion, we have paid 150. And you have said that 700 is not payable. Even the one that you have said is payable, you have not even paid half. So that's something that and we are almost coming to the close of the year.
Sorry, Group Chair.
Yes,
The issue was, first it was not budgeted. So we were waiting for the supplementary budget. Whatever was happening in Meru, our supplementary budget was late. And then now we came to the issue of the the checker lateness, and also waiting for the report. But as per now, this is this financial year by the time we receive the money for June 2023, we will have paid 400.
Yeah, at least, 400 is substantive.
There are only how many days before the close of financial year?
It's 2 weeks, maybe.
And I'm told Treasury have started press-ups of switching off and on to check.
Maybe they'll push it. Maybe they'll push it to 15th, but
yes. We talk already. I've left my the office
team to work on it.
Yeah, they are working on them. You also know these issues of pending bills, looking for the document for the previous.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, also that one has delayed us as we are trying
so
to say.
Maybe so that we make quick progress, because we have a plenary. Auditor General, in 1 minute, did the governor, were you aware of this verification process of pending bills? And have you seen this document?
Report.
The report, sorry?
Thank you, Chair. No, you are not aware and we have not seen the report.
So you are being aware now?
Yeah.
So, Governor, can you provide us with the gazettement notice of formation of task force, the minutes and the report, and that is the next 14 days, because he's saying it's ready. So that the auditors, you can verify and transmit to the committee. So, Director.
Chair, the other question is about the 700.
Yes.
700, if you
it's
don't...
It's not small money.
It's not small money.
Yes.
And those people who are actually claiming from you, if you don't clear your names properly, they'll have to move to court. And the liability will be up in the sky. Governor, you're my neighbor, and I know the reason why you got elected to the governor from Women Rep is because you have been closer to the people. And if you don't clear those things properly, it's going to taint your image. Because these are the small people, youth, women, and others who maybe have supported you. And I think it's good if you sort out those issues properly so that it doesn't affect your performance. Number two, I should have expected the balance of the 300 to have been cleared, because the law is very clear. As soon as you receive your budget, you must pay your deni.
Yes. It's the first charge.
Yes, it's the first charge. So if you didn't pay your debts, you continue using your budget for other purposes.
It's illegal.
It's illegal, and it's going to accumulate a lot of, challenges to you. So I think maybe next time you need to advise also those who are technical that these monies need to be paid so that you don't carry overheads to the next financial year. I thank you, Chair.
And I think 700 million is not small amount. I hope in your report you have a proper justification, because if there is any, we want to grow contractors of Meru to have the capacity just like the ones in Nairobi. So I hope the 700 was justifiable, not proper claims so that we don't disadvantage your contractors. And you know, those are your people in Meru. And you know, sometimes verifying a road that was done in 2019, 2020 is a bit complicated. So I hope you have put necessary mechanism to protect and ensure the non-payment of 700 million that you are claiming a fictitious claim is something that you cannot call. In conclusion, Senator, because I want to make progress.
Yeah, we want to make progress. Maybe to really paint the picture of pending bills. I've seen a very huge of our pending bills in my county. What they are now declaring as bad debt. Yes. Is debts were incurred in 2013. Yes. There was no system of procurement. Yes. They called contractors. They give them roads and maram roads to go and repair, but there was no documentation. But the work was done. The roads were done. Then government says that there was no documentation. In 2013, not even many people didn't even know that they were supposed to get documentation. People are getting paid in cash. So I don't know. It's a conversation that needs. There's no way anybody would be saying that government owes them money since 2013. You must know whether you have that money or don't have that money. If you don't have that money, whatever it is.
I think what we need to do in the future, the procurement plan, and I think the Ministry of Treasury would have joined us, but they are held up somewhere else, is in the procurement plan. I think the future of the devolution and even the country is don't spend the money you don't have, so that you don't have these spending bills. I think that is the conversation we can have, and Governor, you can take it up with COG and IBEC chaired by the Deputy President, who is a close friend of Senator Methu. Now, maybe a quick conclusion, Chair.
And then on top, because this is a very sensitive issue,
yes,
as a cabinet,
yes,
we have concluded that we are going to form another committee to do a second verification.
Yes.
Especially because of the point Honorable Methu has said. Because yes, you find out there are no documentation, but the work was done. However, pictures were taken. So we are yet, however, the task force, we have the reporters.
So there is a cabinet resolution of implementation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chair, Madam Waziri, I am very, very, very uncomfortable with this argument about some people being paid, others not being paid. Number two, why are you people, sorry, not you, Governor, our job is to oversight, or the Auditor General's office is to oversight, even the Senate. We have ESCC, we have got DCI, we have got the Treasury. These, according to me, are the institutions that were given the responsibility to actually look at all the pending bills. They looked at them, they made recommendations to pay. Why are governors refusing to pay people who the Auditor General had made a recommendation that they get paid? Because to me, the feeling I'm having, Chair, is that what governors are doing, you are actually the judge, the prosecutor, judge, and the executioner. You come in, your former governor who was there left. Of course, he left his contractors who are having the jobs. So you are removing his contractors. Now you either want yours to be paid or you actually don't want those ones to be paid at all. And some of these people, their money has not been paid for 11 years. Some of those people have died. So I'm finding it difficult here why the governors have specifically refused to pay all the contractors who had been vetted and verified by the Auditor General's office.
Maybe just as a comfort of the committee, do you have intention of ensuring that the contractors that were under Kingangi are not paid, or even before him, are not paid? Is there an agenda not to pay contractors simply because they were in the former regime?
Thank you, Chair. Meru County is a different county that does not maybe copy what other counties does, but does the right thing. For us, we are struggling to pay everyone that has completed the job and that the job has been done well. We have no issues or who the contractor belonged to, because the few that we've paid belongs even to the earlier government, not even the second, the first government. Yeah.
That is assuring. Thank you for that. Basis for conclusion, domestic travel and subsistence adopted as read, and the response. Governor, why would pay? I know you are not in office then, but why would the county executive pay for a trip to Kisii? And the Kisii senator is telling us there is nothing to see in Kisii or Bejma. Why would you pay for MCS using the...
No, Chair, you are going to really tarnish my very good name.
Yes.
What I was saying is that the Governor Ngwai's team did excellent work.
Yes.
What I said is that there's nothing in the second regime because they have not even started doing anything.
So, okay.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So why, Governor, was this matter resolved, OAG? Did they prove why which basis of law they were using to pay for MCS to travel to Kisii? No, this is this is so there was a one for MCS. Sorry, I got mixed up. This one on domestic travel and subsistence, was this matter resolved? Approvals?
No, there were no
justification?
No.
Governor, is there approvals and justification why this retreat happened? CCM or the chief officer?
Thank you, the chief officer.
Chair, there is annex 11A, which is part of our documentation.
Where is it?
Yeah,
This one.
but 11A point where the answer to the question is, because I've seen it's a list of those who traveled and a schedule of how much they were paid.
List. Is this one on the invitation as delegates during the 23rd annual National Leadership Conference? Is it the one?
Yes, sir.
And even at Pan-Afric Hotel Valley Road?
No.
To fundraise dinner on Friday, 7th February 2020.
Yes, sir.
So
Oh, yes,
you
sir,
guys
yes,
use county resources to attend dinners or fundraisers?
Chair, the fundraising was towards the Meru Mountain Run, which was a government activity for the raising funds for cancer.
For Meru cancer.
Okay, but about substantive question on that, how much was raised in the dinner?
The dinner in Nairobi raised 9 million.
How much was spent?
There is expenditure of there are two expenditures.
Because there is a cultural activity that we were looking about that was said to be economic, and they spent 15 million. Then they raised 10 million.
So how much did they spend for this dinner?
You know, because I know those of us who have been in politics, we call for people for dinner, and they end up eating more than they have contributed.
Yes. How much was spent, CEO?
Yeah, relating this expenditure for the amount paid to officers, there were two payments, one for 442,000 and another one for should be
no, so that my brother will make progress, because we want to conclude. How you raised 9 million? How much was spent on this dinner?
Chair, I may not have
just answer that question.
I may not have the correct documents.
Or maybe let me then get it correctly. Was the travel for the dinner, or was for planning the dinner, or what was the nature of the travel?
Chair, it was for the officers who were involved. Like there were cashiers from the county, there were ushers,
no, the ones that came for
yes.
That's just. I think.
But I've seen a number of invitations. Have you seen this annexed, auditor? Annexed. Was there cabinet resolutions tabled the report's justification after these events? I can see there are many invitations which have been attached here. Have you seen this?
And maybe then to answer this question, Mr. Chairman, what I think, because the query is for 4.18, and I've seen all these, the travels were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and they've all been approved by the county secretary. The approvals from the county secretary is, I think, what we ought to have been.
Who approved them?
Is what we would have formed evidence to this, because you have said the first page of the annexure, all these have been approved by the county secretary. So what we are looking for are the approvals from the county secretary.
It's only approved that 14 of them, and in fact it's not even CECs. It is director of protocol, protocol officer, protocol assistant, accountant clerk. In fact, it's not CECs.
Chair, for this is the page 1 in the annex.
Yes.
The training was for staff working under the office of the governor.
But it talks about the county executive. Number 11A. Have you checked this? Okay. Auditor General now has said they don't have that 11A. So we didn't have the other. You gave the Auditor General the other. On this one, you decide to give to the Senate. So now, are you playing a game, or you want to mislead the committee? Are these errors intentional, or it's just human error?
Mr. Chairman,
because they don't have that copy.
Okay, but because we also peruse documents, yes. I want your guidance on the question that I want to ask, so that I don't ask a question that is not a good question.
Yes.
Because I've seen, these are the records for the former governor. These are not the records for the current governor. That he was moving around with 9 policemen. Every time he traveled, he's having 9 policemen. It is one of the documents that
the second page.
It's not the second page. Yes, I don't know which page. They are not paginated. But there's security driver.
And see protocol.
No, there's a page there.
Governor, you work also with 9 security officers?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe the 9 security officers are not necessarily the bodyguards that the governor travels with. Yes. Maybe including those that are left at the in various or at the governor's residential residence.
So these ones are the ones that have traveled. These ones are not his security. This is evidence of those that he has traveled for outside the county. It's not within the county.
Yes, I understand, but maybe he traveled with a certain group at this particular time, then another group. That's why the number.
This particular travel, Governor, the governor traveled with 9. This particular one trip, wherever he was going.
Maybe the IG allowed him.
On 6th of January 2020.
Which document are you seeing, page?
Maybe the two are not security but drivers.
Also, there were 7 policemen.
Yeah, the policemen are only 7. 2 are drivers.
But don't say only 7, Governor. I traveled with 1. Even our speaker travels with 3. Don't say only 7. 7 are for maybe the deputy president.
Governor, at the moment, how many as IG? How many police security officers do you travel with? For example, you came to Nairobi.
It depends, Chair, with the area that you are traveling to. Maybe if I'm going to the area of Mutuate,
yes,
where then we have the burdens, you don't expect the governor to travel with 2 police.
Yes, yes.
It depends within the nature of the safari.
But are they assigned to you, or you make a request to OCS when you are visiting that area to give you a contingent?
Times we make a request.
But when you come to the Senate now that is safe, a standard, because Meru is largely peaceful, how many security you do travel with?
I've only 2.
Yeah, that's the point that I'm making, Governor.
Yes.
That you came with 2, but the former governor traveled with 7. I think 7
but
is 2 from
But it could be
where?
a function, Chair, with all due respect, since it is a function.
Yes.
Or an activity.
Where was this function?
It's the one that, is it the one in
Senator, where was the function? It's fundraising.
No, even in fundraising, you need security to protect the money.
I support Senator Duro because it depends with the function.
Yeah, it depends
Okay, the function was the annual National HRM Conference in Savera Lodge.
No, you understand. Sawera Lodge is somewhere that is interior.
Imagine, because I was with the president in Savera yesterday. Maybe 1 minute. Maybe 1 minute, Senator Onyonka.
Can you finish under 30 seconds?
I donate them to Senator Onyonka.
No. Chair, before Senator Onyonka comes in, sorry. Let me say here, we are not looking at the number of security.
Yes.
As far as the query is concerned.
Yes.
What we are looking for is a justification for the number of people to travel.
Right.
Can the county government provide that?
Approvals
and all that. Then we can move on.
Yes.
Thank you.
Senator Onyonka, I want to close that.
I was having a very small issue, but I think Madam Dule has already sorted it out. What I was saying is very simple, Chair.
Get us there.
In fact, we shouldn't even discuss that matter. Why? Because the people who are there
and even this next year, the Auditor General have not seen
it.
So this.
By Monday, we handed the copy with the external audit.
But they are saying they don't have.
Maybe it was missed.
It is here. They have perused through. They don't have. Madam, so that we don't waste a lot of time, this now is 2 down, but provide in the next after a year or within the next 7 days and in 14 days be transmitted after verification.
Thank you, Chair. The last one I wanted to say on this,
yes.
And I'm following from what Senator Methu had raised. If Chair, you can go to page of this document, and I would want the governor to look at it.
Yeah. But I have stood down the document you are referring to.
Oh, yeah, then let's check on it later. Yes. No, we've already done.
It's not verified.
Yes.
But
yes.
For purposes of record.
Yes.
For purposes of record.
Yes.
It's fair that I only raised that question. Not because
to show you prudent use of,
because if the government now has come with 2, that is it's fair. It makes sense. Even if she was to travel to Savera tomorrow, I don't imagine that she can travel with the 7. But and Senator Duro was here. She was here when we were with the governor for a year, and we say out of the nature of the place that the governor is traveling,
yes,
he may not be able to travel with the required 3,000 cc government car.
Yes.
He may need a bigger car.
Yes.
But then you cannot bypass the law.
Yes,
you have to get approval and authority from from SRC.
Yes.
So the point I'm making is that, Governor, whatever you have now done today is prudent. It's not 7 policemen. It should be 2 or whatever number that you
I think what Senator Metu is saying, Governor, should you make out a decision that is within the law, you should get authority and approvals so that you don't run against the law. So I think that matter rests there. Provide approvals as I've directed, the justification. the cabinet resolutions, the memos and others, and also provide that document to the Auditor General immediately after a year, or by at least in the next 7 days for them to verify on what to transmit or report right. 2.0, what is the status? Are you living in the governor's residence, Governor? Adopted as read?
I'm in the governor's official residence.
The official, this is where you live and...
Yeah, that's
how is do you have maybe were there pictures? Is there did they attach pictures in your next years of the house?
No, I don't think.
Oh, okay. It's complete. Was there a certificate of occupancy, certificate of by public works, certificate of occupation issued?
The place is complete and very nice.
Very nice. Did you check the occupancy, very niceness of the place? Is it habitable?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we have seen the certificate of completion.
Yes.
We have also verified the building, but
yes.
as far as the goodness, but we have seen the building is complete and occupied.
How many acres under it? Piece of land, the size?
2 acres.
2 acres. So what was the cost of the governor's residence? The total cost, and has it been fully paid? What was the total cost of the governor's residence? Did you see when you are taking a certificate of completion?
Yes, we confirmed the amount is, yes. Although there is a mixture of figures. One document is talking of 127 million.
Yes.
And another one is talking of 130 million. But the contract price was 127 million.
127 million.
Yeah, 127, yes.
Okay. Maybe because of that mixture, can you, Governor, provide full information about including the house, the BQs, everything about the payments, certificate of completion and occupancy in the next 14 days. Yes, and the deputy similar. Is the deputy in office? Not in, sorry. Is he occupying the house?
Yes, he has occupied in a different.
How many acres? Also 2.
So, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Yeah. So is he occupied?
Yes.
Chair, because we've been having a problem with these assets in terms of the title deeds not being available and everything, I would like to make a suggestion that when you do the report, you please include the titles and all the ownership documents.
So, but I've just said full information about, I think that includes ownership and titling. And so the governor occupies this residence. The deputy governor, sorry.
Yes, he has already occupied the place.
Please, Mr. Chairman, don't impute improper motive like you did when I said something earlier. I don't know whether I should be able to say,
yes,
because I'm a member of this committee.
Yes.
You can benefit from my knowledge that the residence of the governor is in use. And I have seen it maybe from the outside. I don't know the inside, but I know it's
when did you see it? Forum. When did you see it? Is it in social media?
Oh, you saw it over the weekend. You were in Meru.
So somebody pointed to you and said this is the governor's residence.
Or maybe the governor herself pointed the building or something.
The deputy president. That's subject to discussion.
Chair, the relevant information I have is that he was the contractor.
No, Mr. Chairman, that is should and must be struck out.
No, you are out of members.
He must with
members. All what you have said is
Chair.
of the record.
I withdraw with a light touch. I was just making you laugh.
Out of order, members. You have struck in the governor. Are you governor? Are you in good terms with your deputy? Are you working very well with him?
Very, very, very.
Very well. Okay. Now, 4.0 construction of boundary wall at Kitongo Stadium. What was the issue here? Because we are running against time, you know, we have only 30 minutes before the session begins.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
And the issue was on supporting documents.
But when they submitted these annexed tears, were they able to prove? It was not satisfactory.
Yes, it's not yet.
So like
It is
you are talking
all.
about supporting documents, contract agreement. Is this Kitongo Stadium wall complete, Governor?
No,
It's not complete, it's tall.
yes.
What was the reason? Was you must have found out when you took office why it is tall. What could be the reason?
From the information I have is that during the period under review, the county government made 8,933,640
Yes.
for construction for the proposed boundary of war at Gidongo Stadium, and we have the supportive documentation about it. It is noteworthy to note that physical verification was undertaken when the county was under partial lockdown with most of the operation suspended. However, after COVID, the contractor informed the county on his inability to complete the project, hence leading to termination of the project. The county has since commenced procurement process to ensure completion of the project. See Annex 13B.
So, Governor, maybe just a quick clarification. So, when you terminated this project, has the contractor gone to court? How much had been paid, and what was the percentage of completion of the project? As I give the People's Watchman, Senator Okiya Omtata, to go on record, is a member of this committee. Sorry, I don't catch in my eye.
Your Excellency and your delegation, honorable members of the Senate and the Secretariat, my name is Okiya Omtata Koiti, Senator and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Karibu Senator is one of us and a member of this committee, and you know he's the People's Watchman. So what was was this termination mutual?
No, he terminated on his own after receiving the amount of money which was even higher than the
what
work
he had done.
Yes, yes.
So what was the percentage of the project by the time he was terminated or she was terminated?
I'm not sure, but around 30%.
Around 30%.
But Chair, there is a worrying statement here. When a contractor is paid more than he has done, so does that mean the government has lost money? Because if that is the position, then the government should move to court and reclaim part of the money that was paid to him. Has that been done?
Thank you, Senator. We've taken steps about this one, and our legal person maybe can assist us on this.
1 minute, legal counsel.
Yes,
just give us an upshot.
We're in the process of filing the suit.
So you are suing the contractor?
We are suing the contractor.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you written also to EACC?
We're in the process of that. That's why I'm indicating.
I think the secretariat, since Eva is here, indicate that she needs to take up this matter.
Yes.
Because this is almost a fraud, where you are paid higher than what you have done. So as you proceed, I'm directing that TSCC does follow up of this matter. Number 5,
that contractor should be blacklisted.
correct. Have you blacklisted that contractor in Meru County, Governor?
Yes, we have, Chair.
Okay. Provide also the name of that contractor, the steps you are taking before this committee. I direct ESCC to follow up. Senator Okiya Omtata?
What is the quality of the works that were done? Other than just that he was paid for...
Higher than what he had done.
Yeah, but what was the quality of the works?
The quality of the work was poor.
Okay. So I think, auditor, when you'll be doing fiscal verification of projects, make sure you capture this. What is happening in Mariama?
For advisor,
Yes.
maybe they need to get an expert who can look at the workmanship that has already been done and do a bit of valuation on what
Through
has
public works.
through public works.
Yes.
Then once you know, you can raise queries against that. That is very important.
Yeah. 14 days. What is happening in Mariama Cultural Center? Is it in use and functional? Auditor General?
Yes, this one is complete and in use.
Yes, so it's
And,
resolved.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go on 6.0, non-compliance to fiscal responsibility principle wage bill. Governor, so that it's adopted as read. When you took over, did you do, I see many governors, including for Kisii, I don't know whether Badlisha has done, they did what we call human resource audit. Did you do human resource audit when you took over? And what is the position?
Thank you, Chair. We have the human resource person with us.
Is the county secretary here or who?
Yeah, we're in the process of doing the HR audit. We have designed a form, and they have filled a form, each employee. So we are moving to the process of physical after yes.
Governor, in your submission, as you know, this was a breach of law.
Something small, Chair.
Yes.
Since before Governor Kawera was elected, the wage bill is at 48%.
Yes.
Have you done any recruitment at your level when you came in? Was that will throw now the figures from 48 maybe to 50 something?
Thank you, Chair. For us, we've done a lot because out of the over 20 chief officers who were there before, I've managed only to have 7 of them. That means we've reduced the number of chief officers from 20-something to 7. Mm-hmm. So we've taken a lot of big steps in reducing the wage bill, and we are in the process.
So as at now, what is likelihood the wage bill in your own approximation?
See.
HR should tell us what is the percentage of wage bill.
I think that one we can get from finance department, because after we prepare the document, we forward them to the finance department. They are the ones who can tell us the
approximate.
Thank you, Chair. Currently, the issue is the budget we had. They had budgeted only for 10.5 months.
Yes.
And we found out that we cannot continue postponing or referring and forwarding. So currently we have budgeted up to 11 months and a third, which coming to 47%. But,
so you have only reduced approximately 1%.
1%.
But when are you likely to conclude the audit of the human HR head count and everything?
I think we found
that there are timelines.
Yeah, we didn't have the budget because we require some money to carry out the audit.
Yes, leave it there. Yeah. Senator Onyonga.
Chair, there's a document I wanted to look at because it deals with the issue. I want to bring you to. This is a.
Is this you're talking about? There is no annexure.
I'm talking about this document, and I wanted to raise.
We have stood down this.
Okay.
Yes.
But Chair,
maybe I can assist by saying, in the first quarter of next financial year, give us the feedback on the human resource audit.
Thank you. There is something I wanted to ask, Chair.
Yes.
Just in case you are able to access this document, which because you are the ones who produced it, it has the Institute of Human Resource Management.
Yes.
It is the same company that all of you do audits on. It's the same company that fires everybody you want to fire. It is the same company that has been doing these audits, all of them. Mm-hmm. I would like to know who they are. So when you make your report, please. The Institute of Human Resource in Kisii, it's the one which is being used to say they are ghost workers and therefore the governor can fire them, and it's not true.
I think it is it's a statutory, almost, it has got an act of parliament.
Yes.
It's almost a statutory body.
Yes.
Because they got formed out of a litigation I did. That's how they got to form that association. I don't know how to operate, but I know they've got an act of parliament.
Thank you. The operationalization I'm talking about is that even when the Auditor General makes recommendations which are legally binding, they totally disregard.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to know because all the governors are using this outfit.
They've got an act of parliament, so
yes.
they may be abusing their powers, but I know they have an act of parliament, that particular Institute of Human Resource.
I think Chair will follow your ruling. Yes.
Do in our own motion to find out who they are. Yeah, we will use our committee in our own motion. So we proceed on the issue of wage bill, Governor. You know that the rules is 35%. So I hope you will also include in your feedback in the next 14 days the corrective measures that we are putting in place. Irregular recruitment of legal officer, was this resolved? The issue is not comparable with the advert.
Yes, it was an issue of advert and what was...
Did you cross-check?
Yes.
Is it resolved or not yet?
No. Because the advert was 10 years,
but they recruited an officer with 4 years experience.
Did they give you a narration as to why they recruited 4 years instead of 10?
Not really.
Is this officer still in office? No.
They are not.
Okay, we'll give direction during report writing by the committee. Let's move to number 820, officers working beyond the age of 60. Governor, what is happening? That the county executive had 2 employees who were above the age of 60. Are they still there?
No, they are not.
They are not there?
They are not there.
But it was breach of the law because the mandatory... Governor, in your current human resource, are there still people who are still energetic and young, still working at 60 in Meru County government?
I don't think they are.
So you are waiting from the HR audit to verify that this? Okay.
I think I can say only those who are disabled, disabled during disability, those who go 65. Then the cases here were employees in the governor's office.
Yes.
And the other one was a ECD teacher who was given 3 years contract.
Yes.
So the contract was we extended for 6 months when the contract was ending. So when she was given the contract,
yes,
she was remaining around 3 years, but she went up to when the end of the contract. So we extended for only 6 months, but she went.
Okay, I think when you do your HR audit in the first quarter as directed, you'll submit. Governor 9.0 earnings below statutory. Why were, and you know, a third of basic salary, why was you allowed to deduct? They were overloading the payment of employees. Is it still happening, Governor?
Thank you, Chair. It is indeed true that at that time audit review that 6 officers were net pay was less than 1/3 of their basic salary. This was occasioned by the overpayment recovery, enrollment to Provident Fund, health recoveries, and recovery of salary advance, whose recovery commenced while the officers had already committed their salaries. To remedy the situation, a letter was issued to each individual officer by the county secretary requiring the officers to make arrangement to correct the breach. Annex 17A, copies of the individual letters to the officers of the subject matter. As at that moment, majority of the officers, as per the audit observation, are no longer earning a net pay of less than 1/3 of their basic salary. See Annex 17B, copies of pay slips for the officers as evidence as their net salary is not below 1/3 of their basic salary.
Auditor, was this matter resolved?
In the subsequent year.
It never recurred.
But that time.
Clear that 30% should be non-locals. What is the percentage of non-locals, non-dominant community in Meru as at now? Your officers can assist you.
Yeah, I say it's around 12%.
12%?
Yeah, what happens is that even the applicants, when we get the applications,
yes,
we are very few from applying from the counties, from other counties.
When you advertise, how do you advertise for these positions?
We use our website,
yes,
which is all over,
yes,
and then the Nation newspaper, the Stand newspapers. That's what we do.
What about the radios? You do only Meru radio, or do you use also national?
No,
radios?
We don't use those ones.
You don't use radios and TVs?
No.
Okay, so Governor, maybe on this, because it's in breach of the law, NCIC Act, in the next 14 days, let us get the corrective measures to achieve this 30%. On what mechanisms you are put in place to ensure Meru, everybody should, any Kenyan should work in Meru. Maybe what is your commitment to this? Are all Kenyans welcome to Meru, to work from Meru?
Thank you, Chair. Meru is a county that loves everyone. So we welcome, when we advertise our jobs, let them apply, because that's where this problem is arising from.
Even from Isiolo?
Even from Isiolo.
Okay.
We are one and the same.
Yes, yes. Failure to publicize and publish contracts, is it still recurring? There is the guy of CCM Finance reporting CEO. You were there. Why didn't you publish as per the law the contracts? What was happening then? I know you are a junior officer then, but you were there.
Yes, Chair.
Yes.
We unpublished. I think the omission is that the auditor did not log into the PPRA website, and we have since done that and proved it was we had actually published.
The Auditor General.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, the management availed the screenshots of the publication, but it has not been authenticated.
Not been authenticated.
Yes, and then there is no evidence that the same was also publicized in their website. And
they are saying they showed you the open and they showed you that they uploaded in the website.
No, the only thing that was attached is those screenshots, and we cannot prove that.
Or they have not been authenticated.
Yes.
So maybe in the next 14 days, we can engage PPRA to verify. Yeah, please, in the next 14 days. Format of revenue estimates, county owned generated receipts. These are very serious issue. The budget, the county executive approved budget reveal a budget of 705 million in respect to county owned generated revenue. So what is this matter resolved 12.0? Auditor?
Thank you, Chair. No, it is not resolved.
What is the outstanding?
The breakdown of in terms of the head codes is not yet there, because what we have is a summary of the revenue items.
So because it says the under regulation 58 2050 stipulates that the estimate revenue shall be in format issued by CS and shall include description of the source of revenue in terms of head code, estimated revenues, receiver of revenue. That's why we ask Governor whether you have receiver of revenue. Have you confirmed you have a receiver of revenue?
Mwanda Chief Officer.
Mwanda Chief Officer, do you
have? Yes, Chair, there is receiver of revenue.
Who is he?
Our CEO, Meru County Revenue Board CEO is the receiver of revenue.
Is that in order, OAG? They are saying CEO of Meru which board?
Revenue Board.
Meru Revenue Board is the receiver.
Yes, thank you, Chair.
I know they are supposed to establish a receiver of revenue.
Yes, independent.
Yeah.
Is that what the law says, Michelle Otoro? CEO, are you an ISPAC member? Okay.
Yes.
Now, where is this receiver of revenue, Governor? The law is very clear. It should be independent, established.
Chair, to end on that,
yes.
The last financial year, then the subsequent year after that, we prepared the financial statement on receiver of revenue.
No, leave it there. We're asking where is the receiver of the revenue. We don't want the process. Number two, for each revenue year, they shall be shown revenue items and the amounts and the nature of receipts. Yes.
Where did I take it?
As they assist you. So where is this documentation? That's the issue. You want this revenue revenue streams. And I think, Governor, we attach about on-source revenue. So just where is this documentation? As we get the legal...
Okay, Chair, what happened?
Yes.
At the time of audit, there was an issue in logging on what we call account receivable in IFMIS. That login was only available to the National Treasury IFMIS guys. We could only call them to upload that statement to us. But since then, they have allowed us to get the login, and now we are able to log in even those years. We have done it, and the counts are there.
In OAG, have you had a discussion on this matter in the provision of documentation? Before I give Senator Dula.
I can ask one colleague who went to verify some of this to respond.
So what you say? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you are in fact hearing this for the first time. Let me, this issue of one source revenue, we had
To read out
section?
Section 157, subsection 1 of public finance. Wakili, the county executive committee member of finance shall in writing designate a person to be responsible for collecting, receiving and accounting for such county government revenue as may specify in this letter
Yes.
of designation. The designation of receiver of county government revenue. So you look at Article 157.
Yes.
The CEC finance should work on that. Asante.
Senator Dulo, so I ruled that all this documentation should be provided, including the issue of his login, because you are just saying it for the first time. The Auditor Generals are hearing now, my brother.
Let me comment on this. You know, when auditors are doing the audit,
yes,
our systems are actually automated through IFMIS. You know, even the auditors, they have the login. So some things are interactive.
Is it through auditors that you have login? I've never had that.
Yeah, they have login.
Thank you, Chair. We do not have login in the system. We normally have generated information.
Yeah, generated information by the user. So I think leave it there. You know, you are running now into a guacamole. So the order is that provide this provision of all this documentation. And Wakili, you can see, maybe governor needs to do a review of your salary upward so that you can be working very hard. Because section 157 is very clear on what should be done. Let's move to the basis for conclusion. 1.0, why were the county executive going to Kisii? And it was being incurred by the county executive budget of 422,400 to an officer to say 7 county MCS. Was this matter resolved? Did they provide justification?
No, it's not resolved because it's a irregularity. So
it's a regular. It's a breach of the law.
Exactly.
Maybe you can give a. I know that we have 10 minutes before we resume the sitting. Do you want to say something
because
on the MCS? Because we can.
No.
It's a breach of the law.
Yeah. So I don't know what your direction would be, because with 10 minutes, maybe there's not much we can do. Maybe we can take the written submissions to be.
Most of them are direct. Okay. There are only remaining 2 issues.
Okay.
So I'm directing that on the issue of MCS, that's a breach of the law. When the committee retreats, they will give a direction. On the issue of maintenance of grounded vehicles, Governor, how many vehicles are grounded in Meru as at now that are owned by Meru? And has a proper carriage been designed to keep these vehicles?
We don't have many of them, but currently we are working on how even to partner with technical institutions that are around so that we get them to work using very little fund from there.
So there are no grounded vehicles as at now?
Very few.
Like? Can you give the status report of the grounded vehicles, the intention to repair them, the functional? Do you lease vehicles from other entities?
Mary procurement maybe can assist me on this.
Do you lease vehicles outside what Meru owns?
No, Chair.
What's your name?
Mary Majau.
You are head of procurement?
Yes.
So you don't lease, you only use vehicles owned by the county government of Meru?
Yes.
So we need the status of those grounded vehicles, the engagement, and if you have contracted any mechanic or garage to do the servicing and repairs of vehicles. Senator?
Yeah, in the breadth of getting the status, we also need to know the ones that are unserviceable, so that we do not have cars that are in the yard and they cannot be serviced.
Yes, junk. Yes.
There was a reason why the law is called procurement and disposal, so that when they are not serviceable, you do not keep them there. I have seen cars somewhere that are older than myself, which cannot be repaired.
But there are cars that are older than you that we are using. So what
But there are some that are older than me
okay,
that cannot
you
be
should
used.
be using the unserviceable. So agreed, so directions are there in the next 14 days. Use of manual payroll. Governor, why are not all your people in IPPD, integrated one? How many, yes, the HR, how many are an IPD, how many are manual? And you know manual is prone to abuse and misuse
I
and
think
errors.
for now, as today, we have only 40 in the manual. And these are the ones in the governor's office who have entered just the other day.
Yes.
We are in the process of getting their personal numbers so that you can remove them from.
How many are on IPPD?
5,500 something.
OAG, have you verified this issue of IPPD? Have you looked at it?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. No, we have not verified for the current year.
Yes.
This will be done in the audit.
The subsequent audit.
In July next month.
What was the challenge? Why were you not using IPPD before?
I think.
And as HR, were you there or you hired with the current government?
No, those other years, in the fact authority, we met so many who are.
No, I'm asking yourself, have you been working with the county government or just?
Yeah, initially, from 2014.
You are a junior
I was
officer.
there.
But junior.
Yeah, but.
Governor uplifted you.
Of course. So now I think we are trying, because even as far as last year we had 200 who are on the manual payroll. Now we have only 40. So we are just reducing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Chairman, if you would allow
Senator
me.
Medhu and then Senator 1 minute.
Yeah. Do you have some that you inherited from the ministries that you are having a problem receiving their verification from the ministry? Because it is a challenge that we have had from other counties and I have not heard you speak about it.
Yeah, we think like the TSC, we have a problem of the converting or activating their numbers from TSC.
And the Ministry of Interior.
And Health. The Interior, I don't think we have any problem.
Okay.
It is Health and the TSC.
Okay.
Yes.
Senator Onyonga?
The one of TSC, in fact, I would agree with. Why would you take a teacher who's already trained to be a teacher and you want to give him a job in the county government? I hope it never works. Number two, we've been having a challenge with this issue where all the workers who are transferred from the county councils, their issues have never been sorted out. I didn't hear you discuss it. Did you carry any with you? And most of them were dumped as temporary, as
others were called what we call rat catchers.
Yes, some are called rat catchers and everything. And yet these are Kenyans. Most of them don't have pension. Most of them have never been confirmed. And most of them have worked more than 10 years.
I think all of them, we took them and we didn't discard anybody. And I think the ones who had the qualifications, they were given the position which they require. I think we have our chief officer here who worked under the de facto authority and who has been lifted. We had around 1,300 of them who are defined as casual workers. What we did, we tried to give them contracts. Did you have contracts?
But you know you are violating the Employment Act. How many are casuals?
No, we don't have the one casual now.
Okay.
We don't have the one casual. It's contract. We have eliminated the one casual. It's around 500.
You are the HR guy. If you are sitting around and your boss is seated here, you should be.
It is 532. 532.
532 to be precise.
Yes, yeah.
So in the next 14 days, provide that report, and we have given you to first quarter of next financial year on these matters. And on the issue of IPPD and manual register, Auditor General in the next 14 days give us a status update on what they are stating on record. Colleagues, looking at the 7 minutes to the top of the hour of plenary session, we have come to an end of this important session. I'll give each senator starting from Okia Omtata. We didn't have MCS today. Thank you, Auditor General's Office, for always being available despite many challenges, and we appreciate what you are doing. Our Secretariat, now let's start with Okia Omtata. 1.5 minutes.
Yes, Your Excellency. Thank you for honoring our summons, and thank you for what you have done. Although I came in at the tail end, Only thing I request that you have listened, you have heard, you fix the loophole so that next time you don't have any qualifications on your audit report, and also carry along MCS so that they can also learn by seeing how this thing is done in the Senate, so that when they go back, they can also replicate what goes on in these committees. Thank you.
Senator John Medu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Your Excellency, Governor, as we go back to Meru, you have my best wishes. Whoever said that this was a sermon, you've seen that there was an invitation, it was an interactive session. We would want to always speak about policy so that you make Meru a better county. I'm sure you've been able to see that most of the issues are issues that if you are to pay keen attention to your management meetings and exit reports, these issues, most of them can be sorted out before you get here. Finally, own personal opinion, which is not an opinion of the committee. I was in Meru last weekend, and to the best of my knowledge, I have seen that you're forward. That is a commitment that you made when you last visited us in December. Maybe not in under very good circumstances, but just continued last time we met in December. Maybe more impressive than the gentleman on your far left. I'm wishing you well as you go back. Go serve the people of Meru. Try to cultivate peace. I have said. Try to cultivate peace, but if it's not forthcoming, the core mandate is working for the people. If you're able to work for the people, even if you whatever happens,
Thank you, Senator Metu. Senator Richard Onyonga.
Thank you. Madam Governor, Your Excellency, thank you for coming. I want to thank all of you, the teams that came from Meru. Our job is very simple. We are really struggling to make sure that devolution works. And I want to say thank you very much for your time. I hope you will extend an invitation. We come to Meru and go around. And the people of Meru are happy with you. I know as a lady governor, the challenges are going to be a little bit different than if you are a male.
if you'd allow me, under 30 seconds, the senator for Meru has not been able to join us. I don't know whether his apologies was given, but I would want to tell is with you. You can always get support. We always get support from him. We always get to learn from him. So
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senators and the entire team for granting us this opportunity. Time to learn a lot of things, and we shall comply to every document that you have asked us to bring. God bless you.
Thank you, Governor. I think, thank you, everybody. I think in closing, I want to call upon that the directions we have given, both the timeline of days and the first quarter of next financial year, be adhered to. Ours is to do our work as per Constitution, Article 96, which talks about legislation, representation, and oversight, and also as per the standing orders of the Senate. We note that there were gaps here and there, either because of capacity issues and many others. we want to direct that all those issues be provided. We really want to know the status of many projects that we have in Meru, because we want to see the money we send to Meru is provided. Governor and your team, as you go back, I think the ultimate service is to the people. If the ordinary Mwananchi is happy, we really want to see that in terms of value of the money we appropriate to counties. So we want to see the model counties just like a number of counties in the world. And we want each and every Kenyan to be happy about devolution. We don't want to, when we walk around our senators, people don't see the value of devolution. The third and final point is to wish you safe travels back to your county. I note that there was a coffee conference over the weekend, and we really want to see, Meru as farmers, and we want to see the issue of guarantee minimum returns, value addition, and we hope in our circle of visiting counties in the central region, specifically Mount Kenya East, we should be able to sample Meru as one of the destinations to have. I think as Senator Metu has said, Senator Katuri Murungi called me. He's engaged with the speaker because we have a very critical motion as from 2:30 now, and he has sent his apologies. He's aware of the meeting. He was formally invited, and is aware the functionalities of our committees. As a committee, we only deal with facts. We don't deal with politics. All other issues that Senator Metu has raised about peace and other issues working with other leadership, those are things the people of Mountain and Mount Kenya East, we can sit and speak about it. And you being a bishop, make sure you put a lot of prayers towards it. With those very, very remarks, colleagues, the meeting stands adjourned up to Monday. We'll guide on the counties that will appear. Governor, unfortunately today, because it's a budget reading day, unfortunately will not serve lunch from Parliament buildings, but I know Meru is not so far. So maybe next time we shall ensure there is lunch in the Senate. So this meeting stands adjourned. You will be guided to the exit by Sergeant at Arms, and we wish you well. God bless you and have a great afternoon. Thank you very much. My phone.